Hello my beautiful yogi friends, and welcome to day 5 of our 7-day yoga journey. Today it's all about grow. Woohoo, day 5. We're more than halfway through with our journey. That's exciting. Good on you if you stick to your practice. And we drop right into day 5 with our theme grow. So grow tall through the spine, sit cross-legged, hands on your knees or thighs. Close your eyes or leave the gaze soft, relax the shoulders down. You made it here. Biggest part is basically done. So now it's time to focus on our today's intention. Grow. So today is all about testing our limits, maybe doing something we would have never thought we are capable of. We will see. But we also don't want to be disappointed in case we are not doing it. So everything is allowed in our transformation journey. And before we start with our asana practice, we will do a pranayama, a breathing technique called Viloma. So for Viloma, we're going to separate the torso, or basically the lungs, into 3 parts, into the belly, the lower rib cage, and the chest, the top part. So we will take a breath into the belly on the count of 3, have a little pause, take a breath into the lower rib cage on the count of 3, short pause, and a breath into the top of the lungs, into the chest on a count of 3. And then exhale long and smooth on a count of 9. So take an inhale here through the nostrils. Big exhale out through the nose to synchronize. And we start inhale into the belly, 2, 3. Into the lower rib cage, 2, 3. Keep inhaling into the top of the lungs, 2, 3. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale belly, 2, 3. Lower rib cage, 2, 3. Top of the lungs, 2, 3. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale belly, 2, 3. Lower rib cage, 2, 3. Top of the lungs, 2, 3. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds. Inhale into the belly, 2, 3. Lower rib cage, 2, 3. Top of the lungs, 2, 3. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doing awesome last round. Inhale into the belly, 2, 3. Lower rib cage, 2, 3. Top of the lungs, 2, 3. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Natural inhale in and out through the nose. Just keep them coming here. Awesome job already here. If you stick with it, you already grew a little bit more in your pranayama and your breathing technique ability. From there, we just start to blink open the eyes and go straight into it. So no breaks today. Wiggle your legs, coming into a plank. I know it's crazy. Jumping straight into a crazy plank. As always, the option to come down onto your knees. You know, you can always go a little bit slower, otherwise we want to challenge ourselves today. So press into the heels, press away from the mat. Super broad in your upper back body. Make sure you really hollow through the front of the heart. So pressing away, the neck is long. And we do some little toe taps. So engage the core, and then right foot moves over to the right. Make sure you've got enough space and that you may plant there, and back into the center. Foot over to the left, back into the center, right foot over to the right, back into the center, left foot over to the left, back into the center. Just keep it moving for a couple of breaths more. Claw through the fingertips, engage the core here. Don't worry if you shake, don't worry if you start to breathe a bit quicker. Same on this side of the screen. So let's do one more each side. Almost done. Last breath here, stop with the legs. And then slowly lower down onto the knees, untuck the toes, lower down onto the belly, and we immediately bring the elbows underneath the shoulders for our Sphinx pose. Awesome little counter stretch here for the engagement of the core. Press into the hips. Really reach through the toes towards the end of the mat. Palms are spread. Shoulders relax down and together. And we take a nice big breath here into the chest. Eventually, moment here to set the intention for today. Allowing yourself to grow, allowing yourself to give yourself a little challenge. From here, releasing forward, eventually giving the hips a little shake just to neutralize any dodginess in the lower back. And then palms back underneath the shoulders, back into tabletop. We bring the knees wide, find our way into the counter pose, child's pose. Walking the fingertips forward, but this time not a normal child's pose. Here we come onto the fingertips and stay super heavy in the hips so they don't move at all, while we start to walk the fingertips over to the left side. So creeping the right hand further towards the left. Stay low in your shoulder. Find a good position for your head. And just enjoy this awesome stretch here in the right side, in the right rib cage. One of my favorites here. But remember, super heavy through the hips. Breathing into the right side. And we come back onto the fingertips in case we lower down and walk back via the center over to the right. Rounding down through the left hip, relaxing the head, eventually creeping the left hand even further towards the right, softening through the left shoulder, and feeling this ginormous stretch here from the left pinky finger along the arm, the armpit, shoulder, waist, right into the hip. Awesome. Slowly finding our way back into the center. From here, bringing the gaze back forward, planting the palms, wiggle the knees back underneath the hips. You know what's coming, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Oh, nice pedal as always in our first down dog. A little bit of swaying the hips left to right, shoulders, maybe softening through the neck, shaking the head. Taking a couple of deep breaths here into the sides of the torso after this awesome side stretch. And find stillness for one breath cycle. Then gaze comes forward, and maybe today we don't walk to the front of the mat, maybe we jump, maybe we take a big step. If you want to jump, lift the heels, bend the knees, super strong in your arms, finding our way. Wobbly forward to the front. Hope I'm not alone here. And then folding forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. I know everything is a bit faster today, that's the growth. And bend your knees, pressing into the feet. We start to peel up one vertebrae at a time, bring the fingertips above the head. Big stretch. Maybe today we go even a bit further into back bend. Exhale, folding back forward. Releasing down. Relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, engage the core, halfway lift. Exhale, we plant the palms, and this time maybe we're gonna hop back. We can always walk or step, your choice here. If you wanna hop, close with the fingertips, and then big jump into plank. Pressing into the heels, press away from the mat. Inhale here, and exhale, we're gonna lower down to the ground in a nice big line. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, relax down, press into the palms, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. One inhale, one exhale here. Gaze comes back forward, and again your version here. Maybe hop, step, or walk to the front of the mat. So as you see, mine is also a little bit wobbly, so nobody's perfect here. Forward fold, relaxing the head down. And then we slowly from here start to peer up once again. Reach the fingertips above the head. And we take one more. Yes, we're growing. We can do this, warming up the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Coming back into our plank. Remembering there's always the option to come into a low plank as well. Press away from the mat. And this time on the exhale, we either lower back down onto the ground, into cobra, or exhale halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Big, big heart opener here. And exhale, we all meet in downward facing dog. Two big breaths here, in and out. Always the option to take a big exhale out through the mouth to get rid of some of the heat. From here, lifting the right foot off the ground and stepping the right foot forward. Bringing your weight into the right foot, pressing up, coming into a high lunge, and we lower down onto the left heel so we can come into our warrior one. Make sure there's a little bit of space in front of you. Like you can see, there's a little bit of garden stuff in front of me, so I hobble a little bit to the back corner of the mat. So if you're doing your practice inside, you might want to do the same so you're not face to face with the wall. And then we square off the hips to the front. Make sure we've got some distance here between the feet for our warrior one. Inhale, fingertips up. Maybe the shoulders are nice and wide and we have the fingertips wide, or we bring the palms together. Tuck the tailbone under slightly, sink into the front knee, but make sure you can still see your right big toe. Engage your core, super strong here. We are growing through the fingertips, rounding into the feet. Last breath, eventually lifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. You can do it, you know that. You're growing, you're expanding, you're evolving. Gaze comes back forward, we bring the fingertips onto the hips, and this is where we're going to learn to fly. So we bring the weight into the right foot, and this is maybe where we're at here today. Just with the left toe still on the ground, working on our strength here in the right foot, in the right leg, or eventually we go a bit further and we start to lift the left foot off the ground, starting to lowering down the chest towards the floor, and then press into the left heel once we're level. Any kind of arm variation here is fine. You can have them stay on your hips, maybe in front of your heart. You can bring them in our airplane arms. If you really want to have a challenge, you're going to reach them forward. Big engagement here in your core. Make sure the toes in all the variations are turned down on the left foot. We're pressing into the left here. We're pressing out of the right hip. It's completely fine if you wobble. You see I'm wobbling too. Gaze is down, neck is long. We relax the shoulders. One more breath. And then we go even further. We're going to lower down the fingertips to the floor. Coming into our standing splits. Oh my God, she is crazy, I know. We're walking the fingertips further towards the foot, starting to lift through the left leg. I'm not near any kind of splits, so don't get confused by the name. Some people are really flexible and they're just going to put the left leg above the right, but not today. One day, that's why we're growing. If you want to go a step further, bring your right hand onto your right ankle or calf. Super strong right leg. You can do this. Stick with me. Keep breathing. Eventually, last option here, bringing the left hand onto the ankle as well. Oh my God, you can do it. Super strong. One last breath. Relax the head down. Maybe not. And then release the fingertips down. And we're going to walk them forward. Release the left leg down. Step the right foot back. Whew. Give the hips a big stretch here. I hope you can still feel your right leg. Definitely should feel a nice, warm, tingly sensation here in your right hip, in your right leg. Awesome. Let's do the same on the other side. Lifting the left foot towards the ceiling. Big step forward with the left foot. And from here we press up into a high lunge just to bring the right heel down. Again, you might want to hobble a little bit back here on your mat so you've got enough space for our warrior 3, our flying warrior in front of you. Squaring off the hips to the front, bending into the left knee, and inhale, fingertips up, either open or palms together. Shoulders relax down. We keep pressing into the right foot. Breathing deeply. For our last couple of breaths eventually, you might want to look up towards the hands. Taking one more deep breath into the chest here. And gaze comes back forward. We release the fingertips down onto the hips and move into our beautiful flying warrior 3. But like I said, maybe you're here, toes still on the ground. Maybe we're lifting the right foot. Toes still turned towards the mat. So always pressing into the heel so we don't have the toes or the leg somehow wobbly, opening to one side or the other. Nice and straight. And slowly making our way into a level. Neck is long, lengthening through the crown of the head, pressing into the right heel. Press out of the left hip. So a little bend still in your left knee, but we're pressing out of the hip and the hip doesn't dump over to the left side. Both hips are still level, so we're not opening up. Shoulders are relaxed and any arm variation here is fine. Like I said, in front of the heart. Maybe airplane arms, your choice here. And then from here, slowly into our next step, bring the fingertips down to the ground, starting to lift further through the right foot. Walking fingertips closer to the left foot. Next step here, relaxing the shoulders and head, and eventually bringing the left hand onto the left leg. Reaching further through the right leg, and then for our last couple of breaths, eventually going the full way if we feel like it today. You can do it, you're growing. It's already day 5, you did so much to get here. Take the right hand onto the ankle. We're all growing, all working on the strength in our left leg here. One more breath, super strong left leg. And with control, super controlled here. Mrs. Ann, bring the feet back into downward facing dog. And another super juicy wiggle here with your hips. Wiggle the neck, wiggle the shoulders. And then from here we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Crazy. Toes turn out to the side. All this adrenaline moved into my brain. Toes turn out to the side. So heels are further in. And we're gonna snuggle our way down into Malasana. Beautiful, beautiful Malasana hip stretch, hip opener. This can be a quite challenging pose already for many people here with the knees especially. So feel free to stay a little bit higher in case this is not happening. Or you can always put something underneath the heels if you're like this and you're like, oh my god, how am I going to put my heels on the ground? There can always be a little support underneath a blanket, a pillow, your dog, whatever. But if you can, bring the soles of the feet down, bring the hands in front of the heart, press the elbows into the thighs, lengthen through the spine, tuck the tailbone under, engage the core. Take a big, nice inhale and exhale. So, and from here we're not done yet with the flying part of today's class. So if this is already a struggle, feel free to come out of it and move into a child's pose. Otherwise, if you want a little bit more, we can move into a crow or a crow practice. So we bring the hands forward, snuggle the knees onto the top of the arms, so onto the upper arm bones, and then really spread the fingertips, maybe just coming onto the toes here. I might have to bring it a bit further together. So just coming onto the toes is already an option. Make sure the core is engaged, the gaze is down and we're not crunching through the neck. And maybe we're going to lift one toe at a time, playing a little bit with balancing here. Maybe we want to go the full way and lifting both feet off the ground. Keep breathing if you do so. And then coming back down. So maybe give it 1 or 2 more breaths of play here. So we're either still in Malasana, maybe we moved into child's pose if we need a little bit of a rest. Maybe we're here starting to lift 1 toe at a time, or maybe we're flying. Wherever you are, take 1 more breath. And from there, just coming forward onto all fours, wiggle the feet out to the side and we come onto our buttocks. Gonna move into a nice little stretch again here for hips and legs. So bring your feet wide for this one, and you can have them as wide as you want. So for some people this is already the biggest stretch for the inner thigh, so maybe you can open up a bit further. And some people really have a ginormous range there in their hips. So wherever feels good here, wherever you can sit comfortably. So we want to sit straight, as always with our forward folds. Have this little engagement here in our toes. Bring the fingertips forward. And then maybe staying if we're already struggling here with the stretch, if it's intense. Or eventually we start to creep the fingertips forward, remembering to hinge forward from the hips. So find your edge. I'm pretty sure there are some people watching this who are basically laying with their chest on the floor. That's awesome. You're awesome. But all the other people, me included, who aren't that flexible, we are awesome too. So just acknowledge and admire where you're at today here. So coming back to the theme once again, it's awesome to grow. So no need to already be there. Otherwise there's nowhere to go from. Keep breathing into the back of the legs. Last couple of breaths here. Lengthening a bit more, maybe diving a bit deeper here for the last breath. And slowly walk your fingertips back up, and we take the left leg towards the right thigh. Maybe pop something underneath the left knee if that's a bit too heavy, otherwise for the hip. And otherwise we're going to turn over to the left, coming into a little twist. Inhale, left fingertips up. Exhale, big rainbow over to the right foot with the left fingertips. Find an opening through the chest. And then release your right hand wherever it falls comfortably, in front or behind the right leg. We try to open through the chest. Finding an internal rotation with your left pinky finger. Relax the left shoulder away from the ear. Keep breathing into the left side of the lungs. Find a good position for your neck. So it might be long, maybe you relax it down. Give it a bit of an extra stretch. Still having an engagement in your right toes. So it's a lot going on. We're stretching the upper body, the lower body, everything is engaged. One more inhale and then exhale to soften eventually further. And then inhale, slowly come back up into the center. Switching side, extending the left leg long, right leg comes towards the groin. Starting with our twist over to the right side to lengthen through the spine. Inhale, right fingertips up. Exhale, over to the left. Release the left hand where it falls nicely. Finding the internal rotation of the right pinky finger down. The opening through the chest further towards the sky or ceiling. Keep breathing. Keep softening. Keep growing. Keep opening up further in the chest, in the hamstrings. Such an awesome stretch. Full body engagement. And slowly find our way back up. Bring the left leg in for last little twist. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale over to the left. Bring the gaze over the left shoulder. Really rotating over to the left. And then the gaze comes forward and over the right shoulder. Counter stretch for the neck. Body follows over to the right. Lengthening through the spine. Twisting further over to the right. Gaze over the right shoulder. And then the body stays and just the gaze comes back forward and over the left shoulder. Super awesome neck stretch. Let the body follow. And we find our way on our backs into our well-deserved Shavasana posture. So lay down, taking a couple of nice winding breath if you feel like it, breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. Really letting go, surrendering, knowing that you worked absolutely and super hard here today. You deserve this rest now. And take a moment here to appreciate your effort today. You can be really proud of yourself for basically growing into this practice, for sticking to your yoga practice. You already made it to day 5 and through day 5. So I'm super proud of you, and I bring my hands towards my third eye. And as always, leave you here. You can stay as long as you want to stay. I really appreciate you joining me here on the yoga mat. I hope you've got the most beautiful rest of the day ahead. Namaste. And I'm gonna see you tomorrow for day number 6.